And we are recording.
Okay, obviously, this is all B-roll. I don't know why I always say that when we record, but this is fun. It's fun.
Always
You
be
know,
wrong.
it's fun. It's fun. Q's not here. I wish he was because this would be even funnier because he'd be freaking out. But anyway, anyway, oh my gosh, this is Moldiversity, and it's been forever since we've done an interview, and we have the good bro, the dope bro himself, the director, the
Woof, woof,
man, the
woof,
myth,
woof,
the
woof,
legend,
woof.
Spyder, Dobrofsky, like this guy. I mean, we
What
haven't
Wait,
talked
intro?
to him
you gotta
since
say
like
the
forever.
surfer too. The
The
coolest surfer that I
surfer,
know.
like
Like
the
the
Right.
surfer,
coolest surfer that I know. Like
like this guy, this guy. I mean, it's been forever since he's been on here. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing so good. I'm being chauffeured by my brother right now.
period.
We're actually doing post on our movie right now. We're doing
Nice.
sound and sound design and Foley and ADR and all that stuff. So we were just at a session right before this, but I got to surf this morning and everything is going
See,
well. Thank you guys. Same old.
Nice.
that's the life right there. See
That's the
this
life.
guy.
Is
Sunny
surfing
This
like
California.
your like is that like a release for you, like your exercise, like you know how people work out or they meditate or anything like that? Is that like that's that thing for you with surfing?
Yeah, definitely, and it's a little adrenaline too. It's fun. It's for sure. It's for sure. And living in just in Santa Monica, LA area, we have pretty amazing weather all year. So I can actually go in the water in the winter time, and it's fun. It's maybe cold for some people, but I enjoy it. Yeah, it's definitely it's all of it. It's meditation, it's exercise, and it's you can just be like full caveman out there.
Whole lot
Sure.
different than filmmaking, right? Whole lot
Yeah,
different.
it is. And it's like the opposite too, where you don't have your phone and stuff. Like there's
Right.
no there's no connection to land, and I feel like I need that a little bit. Like especially there's the stressful part of the movie production and movie business, so it's like a nice chance to like disconnect. Where it's hard. Like if I'm in the gym, I feel like I still can check my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But not there, not in the water. Actually, though, people have Apple Watches now, and they're doing it. You see people making phone calls out there now, which is crazy.
Oh my
Oh
God.
wow.
I know.
Disconnect in the water.
In the water,
Like
you wouldn't believe it. It happens a lot now. Everyone's got sending text messages on
Sheesh.
their watches. Yeah, kind of
ooh.
such a strange sight. It's like a beautiful ocean and beautiful sunrise, and then you have someone like making their call, talking about their taxes and H&R Block out there.
I could that's just crazy. Like you're supposed to be out there, just
Yeah.
taking it all in. Someone's on their Apple Watch, just having a full on conversation on their
Enjoying
Oh
it.
yeah.
Just relaxing.
that's insane.
The
Can't
modern
escape the
world.
tax. Yeah.
Is that a
That is
Starbucks cup?
No, this is actually a boba. There's a place on Sawtell called Volcano Tea. It's in like West LA area, and it's so good. It's like the tapioca ball boba kind of thing.
ooh,
Mm-hmm.
I've been recently got pretty re-addicted to them. They're
Nice.
you
that's
can shoot
fair.
them at people. With the out of the straw. You're driving in
Yeah,
traffic, you can hit their windshield.
you can shoot at the people
I'm
who are
kidding
on
you.
their Apple Watches. No, you can
Yeah,
shoot at
onto
the
their
people on their Apple
watches.
Watches.
Yeah, there you go.
What
See,
Knock your
flavor did
Apple
you
Watch
get?
right off. Yeah, that's this thing. I wish I could be a brand ambassador for Volcano Tea. It's so good, so good.
noted. Make a
Right,
vision board. Put it on
Right.
your
yeah.
vision board.
Yes.
Mm.
That's
A
my vision.
spider
Yes.
that would be a dope like spiders like vision board. Oh, that'd be dope. We would
I
love
can
to
only
see that.
imagine. I bet it would be awesome. I bet it would
Yes,
be
I
awesome.
need to see that.
To,
Go ahead and do that for us, please, sir.
to be a boba ambassador,
Yes.
I'm going to put aside the directing career and become a boba ambassador.
See, that's the life right there. That's
My
the
secret
life.
dream.
Yeah.
That's my secret
Look,
dream.
if Ben Affleck can do Duncan, you can do this.
Yeah, Ben Affleck in the Dunkin' Donuts Super Bowl thing. That was great.
There you go.
This is
It
going
was
to be
funny.
a new game. I'm
We
going to
have
give
to
it.
make this happen.
Oh,
We have to make this happen.
let's
Yeah.
do it. Put it out there. 2024.
Exactly. See, and then you can direct your own commercials for them.
Yeah.
Boom.
In a heartbeat. And my commercial is going to open on someone shooting a boba at someone in traffic, saying it. You know, you don't just need them to drink. You can also play pranks, cause havoc.
It's a perfect slogan, actually.
Yeah, what?
That's a perfect slogan. Man, see, this is why he has to be on.
I know.
Just a smidge more. Just a smidge more,
He's
please.
very chill. He's always, he's always been very chill, welcoming and everything. So I appreciate you coming back and chatting
Thank
it up
you.
with us and
Oh yeah,
catching
for
up
sure,
with us.
for sure.
Yeah.
I've loved seeing like your growth from the last time we've talked.
Yeah,
It's been amazing to just watch you just be yourself and do the work. I remember just seeing you tweet and say your stuff, but then I know you was working really hard on the things that you had to do. So
Yeah.
I just commend you on your hard work that you're doing
Thank
for the
you.
last year and what you're trying to do in the future. So you have our support, but it's cool to see people really take a break, chill, come chat about it, but
Yeah.
don't think that your work doesn't go unnoticed, because it does. We notice it. We see you working hard.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's so nice of you, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's boy, you really just don't realize how much work it takes to make a movie. You know, every time you forget and then you start one again and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so much fun and so incredible, but the level of detail that's required out of you is just, it's insane, and even with more people working on a project, it's still so much brain power to every detail and every shot and every prop and wardrobe and coloring. It's crazy, but it's also, I think, what makes movies so great when they're done well is that attention to detail and caring about every line and every moment and every sound and rustling of leaves and wind. It's all consuming, but that's, I think, what makes it so much fun and then makes the reward all the better.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the fact that you're doing a horror, I really,
Yes.
you really have to pay attention to detail. Like all the sounds, sound is. I always say sound is like the most important
Always
thing for
important.
stuff like that.
Always. So
Yeah, no, for sure. Horror, especially sound, is like what they say. Sound is like 50% of a picture,
Right.
any picture.
But
with horror, it's like even more so, because you like, if you think about all the scary scenes in your favorite films, or even the Jaws and that stuff, it's like without sound, it's not even effective a little bit. There's nothing scary about a horror movie if you take out the sound at all. It's not like, oh, it makes it a little bit more scary. It makes it like scary, or without sound, not scary. So it's interesting, like in the horror genre or suspense genre, sound is, I would say, probably closer to like 80%, of the job. Obviously you want great acting and you want great visuals and you want great sets, but if you don't have the right soundscape and the right times, sounds and spookiness, none of it will come across at all. So it's, I mean, night and day, the difference. And that's why we're at the sound studio all day working today, just trying to make sure like the sounds are effective, they're well timed. And with suspense scenes, it's like, it's so funny to watch. I mean, I'm a big movie lover like you guys, but also to be creating it as well, you're like trying to reverse engineer something that's scary, and yet you as the filmmaker know it's coming, right? You as the sound team and everyone who's working on the movie, they know what happens in the scene over and over again. We've seen it 100 times, and yet how do you try to like build the experience for someone who's never seen it? And how do you like, oh, let's make the sound loud here, let's drop it here, let's will this be scary, or should we give up on this part being scary? Trying to figure out when and where to make those markers. It's a really unique process for sure.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Right?
Oh yeah, and horror has so many subgenres in it. So, what's your favorite like genre of horror? Like, what's your favorite subgenre of horror? Like, if you had to like
Yeah.
pick, like,
No, I do. It's funny. I like the slasher genre is probably my like least favorite genre. Although I actually do like, I do like. I say that as a
Let's
big fan
go.
of like the Scream movies. I love Scream 4 and I love Scream 1.
Oh,
But, like,
period. You said 4 and 1. That's like,
yeah, that's my
yeah,
favorite
that's.
film.
Mm.
Oh, what's yours? Let me guess.
Oh, it'll be 1 and 4. Like,
Oh, yours
Yeah,
is 1 and 4
100%.
too?
like 1
Yeah.
and 4.
one is
There you
one
go.
is the best.
Section.
Scream 1 will forever be top to you.
I
Forever.
don't know
But-
why 4 was so. I like 4. I just
Right?
thought was so great. It was like the best. I just love the
Yeah.
reimagining and the meta stuff. It was
Yes.
like grittier. I don't know
Yes.
why. It's so funny. You have the same thing because I'm like, that's the first thing I'll say is like Scream 1 and 4. Like, love those two movies.
It's just something about 4 that for it to come out as long the way that it was released and how they did it.
Yeah.
And then this I do love the color that's in it. It's a lot of people don't like how it's filmed or like the contrast of it or what if you want to say the filter of it, but it gives this like this glaze, like this glaze of this like this ghastly or ghostly gaze upon it. But then also that first opening kill was not the kill scene. The first one with Olivia was everything. Like that's like the best like one ever. Like he literally was in her room, like literally.
Yeah.
But that like 1 and 4 are those are my babies right there. Like
so there you go. So to take it back, so I like that type of slasher film, but my favorite, I'd say, horror is probably more in the psychological realm.
Ooh.
Yes.
And especially when there's like a little hint, but not too much of like, sometimes I like a little hint of supernatural where it's not like the premise isn't supernatural, but there's like this like sometimes spin on it. Like I don't know. Do you guys ever see the movie Sinister?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I sometimes like the movies where it starts out like where it seems like it's just a serial killer or something evil, and then it turns out there's like some sort of supernatural element to it, like or like like in The Shining, I like how it's like kind of like is he losing his mind or is there actually a haunting there? So I like that kind of whatever that sort of hybrid blend is probably my favorite, and it's what we try to do with the Down Below the movie I'm finishing up right now, which is that kind of like psychological element that kind of rides the line of like, is the stuff happening? Is it real? Yes, but why are we seeing it? Is it because it's reflective of human behavior, or is it more like there's an actual monster, or there's places actually possessed, kind of thing?
Love it.
And a little bit of blood is always fun too.
Oh yeah.
Blood is always great and fun.
The Stanley Kubrick method. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, see now. This man is speaking my language.
Yeah, the Stanley Kubrick. I still can't believe Scream 1 and 4. That's amazing because I've heard.
No,
I love it. Like I read, like it was amazing. It was amazing. Scream 1 is always like it has a special place in my heart. I love Scream 1.
I literally have the Scream 1 script just for my own studying and everything, but it's just it has this classic nostalgic. What else I can say? This beautiful like storytelling, like how it's portrayed and everything. It's just that je ne sais quoi. It just has it all around, wrapped in a bow. A present for me. It will always be my favorite one, like always. But for like I said, it just how it just reinvented itself and how it just it kept that essence of Scream, but took it to another level with what we had going on in social media and everything that was happening around us. It just made it a little bit more even scarier.
Yeah, it did. I'd say it's funny. Like Scream 4 has probably the most like, it feels like probably the most like realistic one of all of them versus like I think Scream 1 did it well, but like Scream 2 and 3 kind of feel a little bit like too campy, like the campy factor is a little high where you're just like, everyone's like kind of running around and you just kind of feel like everyone's like not really like that afraid of like dying and stuff.
Preach.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's because it's all really about like tone. And Scream 1, I think Scream 4 just have nailed the best tone. And did you guys see the newer ones?
Yes, 5 and 6. Yes, we did. We did.
5 and 6 are. I like 5 and 6 for the new generation.
Yeah.
And
I like what they do with them. Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like, I didn't love them. I liked 5 better than I liked 6.
Yeah.
Although I did like the opening scene of 6 with the I
thought yes.
That was a good one.
On the phone call. That for some reason I thought that was like I was like super hyped on that, and then I felt the movie like that was the best part of the movie. But like, you know, 5, I like that they tried to tie it into the you know, the universe and everything, but I don't know, sometimes you're just like, maybe it's just one too many reboots, like where I would want to revisit of like Jill Roberts and like that whole Scream 4 people more than like new people, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, what I appreciate about 6 was taking me outside of Woodsboro.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Taking me to New York and letting me see how this franchise and how these characters and this iconic Ghostface could survive outside of being in Woodsboro. That's what made me still enjoy it. And then my twins as well. I love them as well.
Yes. Mindy and Chad.
Yeah, Mindy and Chad are they're my two favorite new characters in the franchise. But I do wish that other elements could have been added to it, but it still did what it needed to do far as, you know, building up and everything.
That subway scene when Ghostface was in the that was when I was on my seat. I was like,
yeah.
I think it's funny with 6, like I felt like it was almost like the whole payoff with like the cops and it being related to the last one was just it just didn't I don't know, it was like the plot twist of the thing wasn't as like impactful almost.
Right. I get that.
Like when I thought about it, how they like tied it to like Richie from the last one or whatever, it was just like it like worked and made sense, but it just was, you know what I mean? And you know, and no one would make a movie, you just can't really know. But it's just like, how can you live up to the whole like, you know, Billy Loomis and Stu and, you know, that whole thing and And I think Scream 4 is so interesting because like basically it was great to make the girl who's effectively like the young heroine like be the bad, you know, the big bad. That's why I think Scream 4 is so great is they flipped it on its head. You're like, oh my God, Emma Roberts is just so like, you know, cute and rootable. You know, you would never, you know, you don't want her to die, and meanwhile she kind of like plays you. So it's like
right.
But it's hard. You almost get only one chance at that. You can't do it again either. So I mean,
a lot of people need that message.
And that's
they do.
You know, it's crazy. That's what I think though. Like it's interesting with Scream. They like try to really talk about it. Like this is a requel now, and like requel back. And that dialogue works on like a very meta level. It's like kind of great, but it's, you know, it's hard to keep a franchise going after so long when there's just like who's under the mask now. You know,
right?
Did you watch the TV series?
No, my gosh, I haven't seen it. Is it good?
The TV series, I think the first season was good. It's one of those things where you have to still continue with who are the original cast because it doesn't make any sense to see, you know, it was good. I think you need to watch it. It was like, I can't say too much, but yeah, it was good for me. Because as a series, I was like, okay, how are you going to do with the movie? You get multiple kills. Like, how many people are you going to kill in each episode? You know, what is going to be the motive? What is going to be the storyline? Like, how can you take Scream and make it a TV series? But like I said, season 1 was good. Season 2 was like halfway good for me.
That's such a great point you make. Is like, how do you, right? In the movie, you can kill people off because the movie is going to only be an hour and a half total. But it's a show; it's going to be so long, so you can't just like whack off all your characters, right? Like they have to be like basically killed off throughout the season rather than just throughout the episode. Oh, that's super interesting, actually.
But they did good with, like I said, with season 1, how they did it. Mind you, I mean, somebody did die in the first episode, but how it's like they had the formula to let it slow burn throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
With season 1. So, and they did like a little Halloween special. That was cute. They went to like an island or whatever. But, I do wish it could have got more seasons because it could have been different. I felt like it should have been like an anthology series than anything.
Yeah.
Because you would have had an opportunity to introduce different perspectives of how they interpret Ghostface.
Yeah, I gotta watch it now.
Same.
I want to see this new teddy bear movie that's coming out.
Imagination.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes. Normally the whole doll thing is like not, just kind of looks sort of like something you've seen, or like there's something about this one that looks really, really creepy.
The trailer was everything.
Yeah,
right.
It's a great trailer. It's a power of a great trailer where like I was telling my friends, I was like, let's go see Chauncey. And they're like, what's that? I'm like, oh my gosh, I already know what the name of the teddy bear is. Like, that's not even the name of the movie,
Let's go see Chauncey.
Yeah, because it was such an effective trailer where they're like,
right.
they say the teddy bear's name, Chauncey, so many times that it like, I was like, wow, I already know the name of the character in the movie, and it's like I haven't even seen it yet. I'm like,
they got you locked in quickly.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a great trailer. Yeah, like that's great. A really great trailer. Like, I actually know a lot of people are like really excited about seeing that movie, which,
nice.
Not everyone. And I feel like before, like making a movie that's like a doll or a teddy bear thing can be like not that exciting, but this one has the excitement factor to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, probably good trailer. You're probably exactly right.
Okay, so we're gonna have to talk horror movies with Spyder.
Yes.
No, seriously, because it gets me excited for my next question, because it's like, with you doing your next horror, production and everything, what is one thing that you learned from doing Teardrop, which I did love, and I love the elements that you did, and now talking to you, I know that's your type of aesthetics.
Yeah.
Like, what is one thing that you learned or that from Teardrop that you apply going into your new production?
That's such a great question. I would say it was really interesting because on Teardrop, like I was just the writer, so it was kind of really cool to like see what translated, like how the page itself translated with another director, where he like how he brought it to life and all these things, and seeing what scenes where I was like, wow, like that was so much better than what I imagined on the page, because the sound, and he made the water come out of the under the doorway in such a way that it was like slowed down, and to see how those elements came to life, it actually changed my way of writing in a weird way, because on the film that I'm in post now, Down Below, I also wrote it, and so getting to see what translated well and things that I didn't think translated as well as I thought, I kind of changed my way of writing. I'm like, oh, things that I thought translated, I need to now understand those kind of things sometimes don't make it to the page, like make it to the film. Like if you sell this idea that there's like a rainy night, right, but it doesn't actually come into play with the story, so like it's just raining, but there's not like an aesthetic, there's not characters walking around with umbrellas and something that happens outside of the rain, it's just raining because you thought it was going to be spookier or scarier. That's not a good thing to write and do, because you're never going to feel the rain, because you're not actually, you're just having it with sound and like outside. So how can you incorporate it, right? Like, well, let's put the character in a rain jacket, let's have him have an umbrella, let's have him not be able to get inside the house for a moment, not just make it raining because it's raining now. And so to really think about creative choices of how do they track on film, and when you've done all that work, take advantage of the place you're renting out. Like we rented out a church for this new movie I did, and I was like, now I understood what a set piece is, meaning when you rent out your big location for your movie, like your scene, make sure you do enough stuff there so that you don't just rent out a cool location and have two characters talking. Right? Make some exciting stuff happen, make a scare happen, make a suspense scene happen. don't take us to these great places in a film just to have characters talk. Allow us to go to places and really do stuff with those places. So, a lot of the things I learned were actually about, in a weird way, it sounds funny, but understanding like how to maximize the budget better and how to, tell the story and utilize what we have instead of missing out on great opportunities because I'm not seeing it. Like, hey, we brought us to this great scene. We're going to be here for 3 days. What are we doing here? Are we just shooting people talking? Let's do something grand and let's make something happen. And it allows you to actually think about what you're shooting and to seize opportunities that you wouldn't have seen because I had a chance to see my script come to life and see the areas like, oh, the reason this scene isn't my favorite on film is because I didn't do enough when we were here. Like story-wise.
Oh God!
Does that kind of make sense?
It makes perfect sense. No. I'm just in tune and just trying to.
I'm soaking it in, like I'm locked in.
I'm soaking in and listening at the same time because you was preaching for a second and it was like good information. But I appreciate you for sharing that because now you get me real excited now because now I'm ready to see what you've done because like I said for the last year I feel like my perspective of you is that you have been working, like you have literally been on it, and to hear you speak like that tells me everything that I know now. Like you literally are in that bag of who you are as a creative in the filmmaking world.
No, and thank you so much. And that it's that thing of a lot of the new work that came in was like actually came in from pre-production, which is like spending more time saying, okay, this is the location we have now, right? And I'm like, I've scouted it with my location scout. Like, I love this location. Then say I have 2 weeks before the shoot. Sometimes upon waiting for it and thinking about the scene leading up to 2 weeks, I would call the actors last minute and say, like, guys, I know this is going to like break your flow, but I added like 3 more pages. I wrote this thing in. I incorporated this in because we're going to be at this incredible place. And I saw the stage and I want to do something more. I want to take advantage while we're there. And luckily the actors I had were all so flexible and open to like, for me, it's like, I'm a big believer in the raw and the real of like, we're not shooting on sound stages. We're shooting on location, real life. This church we've been in has been around for 150 years. There's been life, stuff has happened. I want that on film and I want to take advantage of the place. So if there's, an actual podium that someone is standing there, I'm like, I want that person to stand here. I want them to walk the room. I want to take advantage of the real location and all the tangible elements of it. And so I would sometimes reblock and come up with ideas based on the locations we got after, because I was like, I'm going to be here. Like, let's not just have the characters sitting and talking on this part, even though it's script, let's make it more dynamic. And all of a sudden, it turns into this great scene that wasn't really scripted, but the idea was still scripted, like the back and forth, but I've reblocked it based on the available resource. So it's a lot of doing that kind of stuff, which is really fun because it's being open to what's there instead of being closed off to what was on the page. When it's like, okay, this was the page, but the script never described exactly what the church would look like. It was just supposed to be a placeholder, right? Now we found our church. Let's try to rewrite it to based on that church.
Yes.
So I
got me excited about the church.
Yeah, you got to. Oh my God, I did some crazy stuff there. But the lady who rented it out to us was very cool. And
awesome.
Yeah, but it just across the board, so many lessons, so much, and the more and more I learn about filmmaking and movie making and storytelling, it's like finding people who bring to life what you're trying to do is more and more my job. And it's like less about micromanaging and it's more about finding the right people so that I don't have to direct the actors. I find an actor so good at bringing to life this character. They see him so much better or her so much better than I do that I just simply provide the stage for them. I provide the imagination.
Yes.
I build the location. I build the stuff around them, and then I let them all play, and I just capture it on camera with my cinematographer, who's my brother on this one, which is cool.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, he shot the whole movie and just crushed it, you know. He's got that scientific color brain that I don't have, of like knowing light and color and like, you know, color charts and stuff. It's very cool to work with someone who sees we're on the same page what we're trying to get, but he sees it from a much more technically sound mind, which allows us to really kind of, you know, bounce off each other, which is great.
Cool.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
after the horror genre, is there another one that you'd like to tackle that you haven't really got a chance to really dive into yet?
Yeah, I actually well, it's kind of in the horror, but I'm actually planning on doing an alien movie next. Where I think we're like raised money on it. Yeah,
Okay.
I've always loved alien, and I
send us the link so we can like. No, you said alien. I need it. Like, give it to me. I need that.
I've always loved alien stuff and alien movies, and there's actually not that many good alien movies. Like, budget realm, they're usually like, you know, Ridley Scott's Alien, or it's like almost a B movie, you know.
Yeah.
But I think for this alien movie, the idea, like, I basically pitched to someone, they loved it, and I think we might even have the financing for it. But while this other movie is in post, I was like, I want to start my next one, and like, I just knew I was like, I want to make the alien, like, you know, a lot of movies, they like just have like a very conventional look, and I was like, we need, like, my main goal of this movie is to like really nail down a really specific look for the alien and like a specific backstory, because I hate when there's alien movies and they don't explain their motive or why they're there. Like, it's my biggest pet peeve is alien movies where they're just treated as like monsters, like dumb monsters, and I like when they're like smart and like way more, you know, have an agenda. So I was like, I'm really trying to nail down all of that stuff, like the quote unquote like mythology behind why they're there and what they're doing.
Oh my god!
But
I'm so excited.
Preview my most movies, so I want to do it a little more slasher style.
Nice.
Yeah. So I want to do it Scream 4 style.
I'm so talking about.
That's my thing. I'm like Scream, because like Scream 1, I feel like you can't make Scream 1 anymore. It's just like a product of it, you know. You can't do it. There's something about it, like even the blood when he's walking around with his white t-shirt in the blood.
Right.
You can't, somehow doing that now is almost like just a trope. Like, it won't play.
Yeah.
But with like, what is it, Skeet Ulrich? Like it's like, it's like classic, you know, it's like cult classic. Like, it looks so good you could thing, and yet doing it now, that exact scene, I feel audiences would reject it totally. But for that time period, it's something about it. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like rock and roll and also like scary, and it's weird. You know, it's a
Oh
weird...
my god! I love that you love Scream 1 and 4. Like, that is like,
I do so much.
It's like, well, it's one of those things where, you know, we dapping up right now, but like literally, like seriously. Oh, but Alien.
Like, we're all horror connoisseurs here.
Like, we all love horror. Like, the whole squad loves horror movies.
The Scream King of MD. Mike is the Scream King of MD. Like, there's not a horror movie he has not seen.
It's a couple, but you know, like Scream, I don't watch them repeatedly too many times for my account. Like, I hate to say it, but the Scream franchise is my comfort franchise. Like, it is literally.
I know what you're
comfort
saying.
one.
I know what you're saying, and you know, there's one element I just to quiz you, so you know what I'm talking about. Like, there's one part of Scream 2 that there's literally one transition that I love so much. I think it's if only the whole movie was on that. But there's this part in Scream 2 where like he throws Sarah Michelle Gellar like off the balcony, and then he like swipes his knife, and like the music of the scene at the party starts playing. It's like, I never thought he was innocent. Like, I think that is like one of the most brilliant transitions in a movie, and he like cleans the knife. I'm like, there's still genius in some of the other Scream movies. It's just like overall part of the films don't quite hit as well, but like
Oh, I love that. I mean, I love that you like Scream. Like, that just made my this whole day. Like, that was good to know. I gotta ask though, with you talking about alien movies, what is your favorite alien movie then? Like, what is your favorite science fiction movie?
I feel well, my favorite alien ever done in a movie, which isn't my favorite movie, but I think the best alien ever, like aliens on a prosthetic and look thing, is Prometheus. Actually, I think that the aliens in Prometheus.
I was trying to connect it because he said when he said he like them intelligent, I was gonna connect it, but I didn't want to start with Prometheus. But
to me, Prometheus, if it had better characters, would have been the best science fiction alien movie ever made. And slide because the alien mythology and the actual like look of all of them is so real. It's so scary. The engineers like, and that whole like big questions like why did you want to destroy us like blew me away.
Right.
It's a shame that the character stuff in that movie is so bad. It just there's no relatable character. I almost think it's the ensemble problem, just too many characters. You know, like if they just condensed it down, maybe like some less characters.
3. It only needed 3.
Yeah, it's too many people to wrap your head around, and then people start becoming unlikable, and you just don't care. But I think that movie has done something that no alien movie's ever done, which is just like the alien stuff is so good. It's ridiculously good. I also really liked it's funny with all the alien movies I have the same problem. There's not really any alien movies where the characters are that good in the movies. It's almost like I can nitpick. Like there was this movie I'm not sure if you guys saw called Fire in the Sky. You ever hear that one?
That sounds familiar.
Terrible movie, terribly boring drama movie. The last act where there's these orange aliens that are like doing like a lobotomy on someone is so well done, so scary. You're like, oh my gosh, this turned into like a 10 out of 10 movie in the final 15 minutes of the movie. And then I also like, what else? I mean, I kind of like, The Thing. I some of those movies are a little.
Oh God! I literally just watched that last year for the first time. I was like, oh my God, why haven't I watched this before?
Yeah, those have like the more body horror element, like I actually feel like of all the body horror films, I really love The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
That movie does it for me. The character because his character is so good in it, that it's like you're like, man, I kind of care about this guy and he's becoming a fly and he's losing his humanity. It's just it's so tragic. I love that. It's so tragic. Scary,
He literally becomes a fly. That is
yeah. But I always try to make movies in areas that I think are missing for me. So that's always been my kind of genesis on movie stuff. Just like I'm like, oh, I haven't seen alien movies with like that many characters that I care about. So can I try to work on that area that I think is missing? And I don't think it's missing from, by the way, like, the acting is bad. It's more like sometimes in science fiction, there's been a tendency to care so much about the science fiction that the characters are quite wooden. They're quite sterile. It's in a lot of science fiction movies, it's a very like stiff character and they don't, and that kind of thing makes it hard for an audience to relate. Although the premise we relate to. So I feel like with The Thing, like, the premise is so iconic of this shape-shifting kind of thing, and in the snow and Antarctica. But like, I don't think about like Kurt Russell's character. Man, I related to that guy so much, But I think that the overall premise and what it was saying in science fiction wise is very relatable. So, just trying to make a very like movie that has as sympathetic of a character as possible in an alien movie would be my like main goal, so that you care about the person who's undergoing the invasion or abduction kind of thing. Easier said than done too. Who knows? I might say it. Someone is going to say, "Look at that! It's the most unlikable character in alien history." I say, "Well, then it can't be done."
Oh, we definitely have to talk off stream because man.
Oh, he has something for you. He has something for you.
I don't have something for you, but yeah, we're definitely we're definitely in the same mindset of how these things need to be approached. Because I definitely feel the same way. I think it's almost like a lost art right now. You know, a lot of people don't when you have these films and even some TV shows, you know, with such a big, you know, high concept premise, you do forget the characters. And you know, you lose the likability, you lose the sympathy. And if you need to hate them, you know, you sometimes a character can be hateful just to be hateful, but you know it's fine to add a little spice here and there. But yeah, no, totally, yeah. We have to we got to talk off stream because man, oh man, do I have things to tell you?
No, it's great, and what you're saying too is it's so true. Like it's and I actually I'll attribute. I think some of it comes from like, in order to sell your movie in terms of like, to a financer, sell it to a production company, sell it to an actor, sell it to whatever. Actually, not sell it to an actor, but to sell it to everyone who makes the movie. You do need to get lost in the idea, in the premise, right? Because that's where people can imagine, oh, what is the movie about? And no one can really sell a character to a financer. Right. You can, but they're like, well, great, that's a great character, but what the hell's happening in this movie? Mm-hmm. You know, what's going on? It's like, oh, well, Liam Neeson is going to be on an airplane and there's going to be terrorists and he's going to, deal with that while, trying to, get back together with his wife or whatever. Right. But so in that process, I think it's very easy to forget that characters need to be humanized and not just made into like plot devices, because they also are plot devices. Like a character only exists in a movie to help the plot, but yet they also have to have their own, go off course a little bit, but not too off course, because you don't want to watch a movie where the character has nothing to do with the plot.
You gotta have emotions to the damn plot too. Like they got to have something to fuel them being, connected to the plot line.
Yeah. Yeah. That's 100% on point. See, this is why I like talking to Spyder. He gets that side of me going where it's just all film, and I'm like,
look, got me over here like I'm over here to pull out my notebook. I'm done pull out my notebook like, Lord have mercy. Now I see how I need to approach
masterclass.
Look, I see how I need to approach this situation, but no, just hearing you talk as somebody who wants to create, but my main focus is photography and visual things. It takes me back to a place of my brainstorming, and I appreciate that, because hearing you say, like you said, you got this location for 3 days. This is grand location. We're not going to just have two characters in here talking. Let's do something with it. So for me as a photographer, it tells me if I rent out a location, granted, yes, I want to get the pit, but let's do some other stuff. Let's figure out what else can we do with this space. Like, what else can we do with what we have in this amount of time? And I appreciate you for telling us that, because that just made my whole way of thinking and, creating the things that I'm trying to do this year. It just makes me think even deeper of what I can use with what I have. So I appreciate that for you letting us in on that process, because that was some good tea right there. Like that was a word.
That was a word.
Yeah.
That was a word.
Yeah.
You say it too, like with photography, right? Yeah, it's like you got to go and get what you need to get. I need to get these lines of dialogue, but what else is there that only this specific location has? Because a camera, whether it's a photo or video, it captures the soul of the place. And and one of the things I remember I was thinking about, and I thought was so cool, is we watch movies, and some of these movies are time capsules of places and people that are not even around anymore. Buildings that were torn down, things that are completely, time periods, eras, all sorts. So that's why I think I'll try to always shoot movies on location if given the chance, because I love the idea of going to a place that has been there, that's real, because I believe that kind of stuff kind of comes, the camera captures it. I somehow think that the camera captures that stuff. Whether it like whether it resonates with the actors or the crew or the environment, or you can actually tangibly see it, that there's some sort of soul to places and things, and you know, to get it on film, it makes the film more potent. Whether same with photographs is, and so I love the idea of always going to like real locations and trying to put people in the real place. And I think it changes the way actors act, or people posing in a photo, even, you know, they can feel that place and it creates something that the camera captures. And then later you're like, wow, it wasn't even like that on the day. We were so happy. And why is this scene is so dark and sulky? Because the camera still captures, you know, that intangible quality that I think if you just shoot everything on a studio lot with green screens, you're just not going to get. You can't.
Yeah.
But if you don't have an option, you don't have an option, you know?
Right.
And when you get to make a movie and they say, hey, you're making this movie on a lot. Hey, I'll make a movie on a lot. I'll do it. You know?
I hear that.
Yeah.
Burn some
and
sand.
that, people, is the magic of film.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Film. Yeah.
Yep.
And there's the hybrid too, you know, like both. And how do you sell things? And then how do you get real stuff? And, you know, I even my favorite type of actors, and you know, such a treat. I mean, on my last film, you know, I was working with, that I directed, I was working with, like, you know, some family friends, a couple of actors on a couple of, you know, TV shows. And then this film, I got to work with Eric Roberts and Bai Ling and Doug Jones and all these actors who I've watched on television and film. And only to learn that it was like, oh my gosh, like their take on the character, like what they read and we talked about, and they're like, oh my gosh, I got this character. It's like, that's what you get from them. You know, they have their great, incredible instincts. That's what makes them such great actors. It's like, oh, I don't have to do anything. I really don't. You know, the casting of them was, I think, the bold part, where not everyone would have thought of Doug Jones for the role I cast him in, or Eric Roberts had never played a role like this. And that in itself created this kind of like new electric kind of character, because I wanted to do something that wasn't like them. And I was like, but if he plays it, it'll have this gentle thing and blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, and then it was like, he's on set and he's doing it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is even better than what I imagined. And so, you know, I feel that I got so lucky getting to work with some legends and who taught me so much and really taught me the art of being present and being there on the day and saying, hey, look at these two great actors acting in front of me. There's so much great stuff going on. I have a great idea, and I'd be like, can we do this? And they'd be like, yeah. And they'd be so good at taking a note and incorporating it. It's just like, they're wizards. It's wild. They're acting wizards, you know, set wizards.
I think that's the blessing that you have with, you said you like to be around or create around people that is going to bring the vision to life. So I think that's that blessing that you have that's around you. Yeah, exactly. And you, like you said, like it's actually just like help finding other great creative people who fit in, and it's understanding that it's still like a salad. Like when you're making a salad, there are some ingredients that are not going to fit into your salad, even if they're talented, right?
Right.
So there were people in this film who auditioned and stuff who I was like, this person's incredibly talented, but they're like putting you know, a piece like grapes in this salad, and I'm not making a Waldorf salad. All right, I am making a Waldorf salad. There's not grapes going in this thing because I already have papaya, you know.
Oh my god!
but
that's a good analogy.
Right, that's a great way, right? So it's like, it's not just grabbing your most talented people in your network, right? You have to fit the salad you're making, and that's where it's also, you have to say no, because you have to like, hey, this person is amazing. This cinematographer is amazing. This whatever, but do they fit the film I'm trying to make? Do they match with everyone else? And you have to make a salad like a chef that all the ingredients go well and an audience can put down. Otherwise, you have a very disjointed film where it's funky in the scene, then it's scary, then it's annoying, you know, then it's campy, then it's dramatic, and an audience is, what the heck, what's going on? You know, so you have to have that. The best way is the salad metaphor, because they're just certain ingredients that like taste good on their own, but they don't taste good in the salad you're making. So it's like,
that is perfect.
I love that.
That is perfect.
And I like Waldorf salad, so no, I don't even know what a Waldorf salad is. I just feel like there's maybe great.
It's a cool one. Yeah, I'm certain it exists. I'm certain it exists. On that note, no.
And then
No, that was perfect.
And I'll tell you, it's actually one of my favorite parts. And my brother, who, you know, he's the DP and he also produced the film. He and I are very good at, and it's a skill we got, of basically taking risks on talent and of people you wouldn't think would be good for a part, and then trusting that gut, and then going for it. Because like even the girl we have for like the female lead, she's this great actress named Alexis Knapp, and she's like in all the Pitch Perfect movies and stuff. And I'd never met her prior to the film. She like sings and all that stuff. Super nice girl. But we had, and I've told her this, so she doesn't mind me sharing. Like, we had gone through like 500 self tapes. Through that, our post went like viral on the breakdowns, and like I got like 9,000 submissions for the role.
Oh wow!
And I looked at so many self tapes, and again, so many talented people, but the role itself was this like prostitute escort character who also has some sort of like maybe psychic ability. And so many of the girls, I was like, they're nailing the dramatic part and they're believable as the escort part, right? Like they can pull off the drama of like, someone a little bit beaten down by life, but, still, putting on this, this sexy aura thing. But I'm not believing in the the hit me, whatever, the medium element.
The Jean Grey of it all. I got you.
Yeah.
Right. I'm with you.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. We get it.
I'm with you.
And I told my brother, and we had this in a cast version. I was, weeded down, and again, I'm like, and callbacks, and so many people I even FaceTime with, and I'm like, gosh, there's all these girls that are really, really talented, and like the final 10 we narrowed down to, I'm like, these people are by completely great enough to be in this film, no doubt, and play the lead, but they're not right for this character. They don't have the Jean Grey element. And I literally considered like cutting the role out of the movie because I was like, I have scoured. I watched every self-tape you can imagine. I just can't, maybe this role cannot be done. And I've done something wrong on the writing. It's just not possible to make this blend work where it's like kind of dramatic and also like a little bit supernatural. And so then I basically recognized that I knew this manager who represented this Alexis girl, and I'd seen her in like Project X in a couple films, and I was like, she had this headshot online, and I was like, this headshot is like exactly the person I need. It looks like someone who's a little bit like mystical, like she has some sort of mystical quality. And I was like, and then I heard that David Lynch like cast Naomi Watts on a headshot, and I was like, am I crazy enough? Because I'm like, if I go to this girl, I have to basically let her read it and give it to her. I can't ask her to, I'm at the mercy of the universe at that point. And I was like, but I'm like, I have this weird feeling. And again, I have to call her manager, and barely knows me. And like, she has to read it, like it, want to meet with me. And basically I was like, let's do it. Got it over to him. He liked the script. He passed on to her. She read it and like set up a meeting with me, and she just went crazy for it. And she's like, I used to think I was talking to ghosts when I was a kid. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the girl. And then we hit it off and we started shooting. But it was like one of those things where I was literally going to cut the role because I was like, there's that salad thing, right? I'm like, anyone put in this movie, it's like me forcing strawberries into the salad, and it's gonna be sour, and it shouldn't. It's like a salad cannot handle the citrus. And then I found her, and then it's amazing. And now I can't imagine the movie without her, but it was like a very, very long journey to figure out how to cast that. And I honestly, there was a point where I was like, had made peace with just cutting it out completely. And I'm very happy I didn't, but
come on, blessed and highly
divine intervention. That was divine intervention.
Okay.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Crazy stories.
That's the beauty of film. See,
this
guy, this way. This guy right here, He is future filmmaking, people. Future filmmaking.
Yes,
yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of. I see a lot of great things
all
for
your
you in the
tens.
future. Like you're
all you
love
guys,
it,
we're just all growing. I'm
Yeah.
learning.
right?
Like, I'm learning every year just how much you learned all this new stuff, and then you realize how much more there is to learn, and it actually keeps making it
Yeah.
exciting. I'm like, oh wow, like I learned so much on this movie, and now I want to learn more. Like that's why the alien thing excites me on prosthetics and VFX
Yeah.
and practical and why aliens movies look good, and why when they rely too much on CG without the budget, you can make stuff that feels like a kind of a sci-fi channel movie, and how to right, like how do you make it the way you want to look? And it's like, oh well, maybe this should be practical, but until you make the movie you don't know, so you kind of have to keep making stuff and keep an open mind and stay curious and just have fun with it, and surround yourself with people who are fun.
Exactly.
Always be a student.
I have a no jerk policy.
Always be a student. Love it.
If you're a jerk, you don't last long. You won't be invited on my next movie.
Period.
Exactly.
He said what he said, and keep it moving.
Yeah, unless you're a huge movie star, and then I'll smile through my teeth. What fun it is going to work today.
Yeah, you can make a fake Twitter account and then talk about people. You know, they do it all the time.
Not to subtweet, not subtweeting.
Yeah, just subtweet.
No, I will say thank you.
Bad influence.
No, like thank you for coming on and talking with us and catching up with us. Like it has been an honor to just talk with you right now. Like I said, you have installed some things in us. Even with we have a new adventure that we're starting this year, and so I appreciate your openness, your like I said, send you all good blessings and encouraging feels for the rest of this year and next year. Like seriously, amazing.
Great chatting with you guys. I'm so excited for everything you guys are up to, and it's going to be really you guys are the model. You're out here you got an amazing podcast. You're making stuff. It's like just make it, and even I tell myself too. If this movie I made is only happened because I basically was like, you know what, I've waited too long to make my feature movie, and no one's doesn't matter that I've sold movies. Nobody cares, and maybe they do, but I got to go out there and forge this opportunity, because man, there's no worse feeling than becoming a person when you're waiting around for your life to start. It's better just get scrappy and to do it messy, do it to where you're messy and maybe you fail, but you're actually creating momentum. And I will never allow myself to sit around and wait. And I've done that a few times, and it was the most unhappy parts of my life is when you're just on standby for the industry or someone to give you a shot, instead of like, hey, I'm going to empower you or empower myself to like do it. And even if it starts out like a movie where it's just you and your friends and a camera, but you're like, let's go the extra mile. Let's make the best, most kick-ass movie anyone's ever shot in the backyard, and make it seem like it's not in the backyard. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, that turned out good. And then someone else watches like, hey, let's, we'll give you $30,000 for your next movie. And it's like, okay, I can make a feature for 30. Oh, now we're making it $90,000, instead of waiting for the like, I'm going to get signed by a Hollywood agent. They're going to set me up. I'm going to be working with, Benicio del Toro on my first indie. It's like, hey, that does happen to some people, but don't wait for it. Just be a maniac who's like doing your thing no matter what. And especially with all the technology and editing software and things, you can do so much stuff on your own now that it's just a matter of, will you invest the time and the energy? Will you do that?
Yeah.
Dropping more gems.
And that's why he's a Dobro, people. That's why.
More gems. Oh my God.
Next time I come on, I'm going to change my name to the Gem Dropper.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, please.
You can just put it as your sub, just like how Avia has the judge and the water, and Aaron has the water. You can put it right under the Gem Dropper, like literally.
Yes.
Literally. Oh my God, this has been fun.
This has been really fun. No, like
fun, guys.
Yeah. No, thank you, man. Like for real for coming back
Yes.
on.
Guys, it's so great to see all your guys' faces. You guys look so young and healthy. Whatever you
We
guys
try.
do, keep it going.
We try.
Those green
Those-
tea face masks going.
Those salads, you know, the film salads. That's what it is.
Yes, it's
Salad.
the salads. It's the salads. It's
Salad.
It's a
definitely
salad. It's a salad.
It's the salads.
No, but like for real, thank you so
Anytime,
much. Any final words
Yes.
for the people?
Well, I think we're gonna the film's gonna be done in I think end of March. We're coming to the end. And then we're gonna have a really kick-ass trailer, I think, in April.
Nice. Okay.
I'll fill you guys in, and maybe I'll come back on when the trailer and stuff's ready because I'm so excited.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of the
Yes.
stories and
Look, thanks for the
everything.
birthday gift when it's done in March. He's gonna finish a movie in Aries season. You heard that,
That's
right?
what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Nice.
the plan.
Nice.
All right,
All right. It was
talk soon.
great
Okay?
having you.
All right.
See ya.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace.
See you later. Bye.
Peace. Bye.
Oh, that was so fun.
Well, you heard the man.